All right, you guys, welcome back, or if you're new here, I'm glad that you've stopped by. Now, I have a delicious layered cake for you today with a secret ingredient, and it's one that whoever eats this is never going to know is there, and that is cabbage. This is a spice cake with cabbage, apples, and pecans, but let me tell you, it is delicious, it's moist, and you're never going to be able to taste the cabbage in it. Now, one of the keys to doing this is that you've got to grate the cabbage. I did the same thing with the apples as well. I've got the Granny Smith that are grated right next to me, but grate both of those so that they're very fine. Once that's done, we're going to chop our pecans. You could also use walnuts if you prefer walnuts. And then when all of those are chopped and grated, we're going to set them aside and start on the cake part of it. So you're going to mix together your dry ingredients. One of the things that I use in this is a whole wheat pastry flour. It is a lower protein flour, and I think it's perfect for cakes. When the dry ingredients are all mixed together, we're going to add our fats. Now, I used a canola oil, and butter in mine. I love the butter, of course, for the flavor of it. And the canola oil I love to use in my whole wheat baked goods because I think it adds a lot of moisture. Now, one key, too, is that I like to whip the eggs or mix them up, I guess, before I put them in. It just makes them easier to incorporate into the oil and the sugar mixture. This is some plain Greek yogurt that I like to use in my whole wheat baked goods as well. Again, we're always trying to add in moisture because the whole wheat flour absorbs so much. Now, once you add in the eggs, it's really important that you don't overmix. From here on out, all that you want to do is add the ingredients and only mix them to incorporate. Once the ingredients are all mixed in, or the eggs and the Greek yogurt are all mixed in, you're going to want to add in your dry ingredients. Now, I didn't list out all the ingredients in this video, but they are going to be in the description, the ingredients and the measurements. And you can see again, I'm only mixing this just to combine. So I mix it in the middle and make sure to scrape the outer edges and underneath. Once the dry ingredients are all mixed in, we're going to add in the cabbage, the apples, and the pecans, and again, just mixing to combine. Now, once these are combined, we're going to pour them into our prepared cake pans. I just sprayed mine with pan release, but of course you can use parchment paper as well for an easy release. Now, another key, actually I've given you quite a few tips, is to make sure that you do not overbake this cake. The reason for this is that whole wheat flour absorbs a lot of moisture, so you have to be really careful that you don't overbake it, otherwise it's going to be dry and taste really bad. Now, here are the finished cakes. You're going to want to let them cool completely. You can eat them just like they are if you want a plain cake, but I did a spiced cream cheese icing because I love it with the spice cake. So you're going to want to mix that until it's nice and smooth, and once it's all mixed together, now you don't have to level your cake, but I like to do it before I start. This is a whole wheat cake, so of course it's not going to have that huge rise on the top, but I like to level it anyway. So, and you do this just by simply cutting off the top, just like you see that I'm doing here. I did this with both layers, and then once they were both trimmed and ready to go, then you start by filling in the middle layer with your icing, of course. Spread it just like I'm doing. You can put in more chopped pecans if you want in this layer, but I did it with just the icing. Then you're going to top it. Now, if you don't know how to do icing, I'm not really going to explain it in this video, but just know that this looked almost like a naked cake is the way that I did it. Spread icing all across the top, the sides, and then I piped rosettes across the top and added a whole pecan to each one of the rosettes. And when you slice into this, it's amazing. It's moist. It's full of those spice flavors, and it also has that secret ingredient of cabbage. Now, as always, of course, don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss any of the new videos that are coming out.